Most net metering agreements don't compensate you for the same value of what it costs you to buy that energy as it does when you sell it back to them.
Hello everyone, Moise is back again here, another episode of The Huddle. On this episode, it's all about the backup minute, which basically we talk about batteries. And we're thinking, who should we bring here? And Mike, I think he's one of the smartest person here at the company, and he's really good at what he does. So I'm gonna give him a few minutes so he can go ahead and introduce himself. Just tell us a little bit how long you've been with the solar. I know you have moved different departments as well, so I think that'd be cool to hear. So go ahead, Mike.
Yep, I am Mike, and I am the Director over Design and Proposals. I've been with the company now for 4 years, just over that. And I spent the very beginning couple of years with the company in commissionings, going out to every customer site, and that kind of turned me into the Mr. Fix-It. And so I spent the first couple of years diagnosing every kind of battery system you can imagine. And now I do all the preliminary designs to get these batteries on the houses.
Beautiful. That's the reason why we picked to go with Mike, because he's done commissioning. We had a video as well that talked about that a little bit, but we wanted to bring him in and talk a little bit more about batteries. So people watching this video, I currently have solar panels and produce energy. What happens to the extra solar energy if I have a battery?
If you have a battery, that excess solar is first gonna run your home.
Okay.
That's where the solar goes before it goes anywhere else.
Okay.
Solar runs your home. After that, the excess solar that your home doesn't need in the moment has to go somewhere,
right?
And it gets deposited into your battery.
Okay.
That way, when sun goes down and you don't have any solar available, the battery can then run your home in the meantime. If there is excess energy after that, the remainder of that energy, once the battery is full, goes out to the grid where our customers then get credits for that excess energy. Okay. So that goes to help offset your bill.
Okay, so obviously if you do not have a battery, any excess power that your panels produce just goes directly to the grid.
It does go to the grid.
Okay.
There's advantages and disadvantages to that.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing to have just solar on your home.
Okay.
It's better if you have a battery. If you have just solar on your home, yeah, the excess energy will go out to the grid and you'll get credits for that.
Right.
Most net metering agreements don't compensate you for the same value of what it costs you to buy that energy as it does when you sell it back to them. It's a different price. You don't get as much out of that when you sell it back to the grid.
Okay.
So if you have a battery on your home, you get to collect that excess energy, and then you get to keep it at 100% of its value for you, so that when the sun does go down and your solar gets to a minimum, your battery now can compensate and run everything in your home.
Perfect. And so basically, power outages, if you have a battery, it helps you, right?
Absolutely.
Now, how long, I mean, let's talk about this. Maybe there's not a specific answer to this, but how long can a battery last when charged if there's no power outages? Now, we have to put in consideration all the appliances from the home and everything else, right? And explain a little bit about that. How long, if you just run your essentials for home in a case of an actual power outage, how long do you think a battery may last?
Let's take the average battery that we sell, a 10 kilowatt hour battery.
Okay.
If you are running what a normal house uses in the spring or in the fall, so you're not pushing a ton of air conditioning or heating, and you're just running basic things in your home, let's say you're running at a kilowatt per second all the time, it's no problem to get 8 hours out of your battery. If I'm only running 500 watts at the moment, I can run that battery for 16 hours.
Okay.
If I'm running at 2 kilowatts, then I'm running that battery for 4 hours. It just depends on what you're running.
Okay.
It should be noted, when an outage happens, you should treat that like it's an emergency situation, right? So I'd recommend not running your hot tub, not running your EV chargers,
Right.
not running your pool pumps,
AC.
staying away, air conditioning, compressors. I would turn that off, but if you do want the fan to run, that's acceptable.
Okay.
The fan really doesn't take very much energy. And to be honest, even your heating system itself doesn't take a crazy amount of energy and is an acceptable thing to run during backup.
I like how you explain that, if there is a power outage, you should think of it as an emergency, right? And that is key because probably a lot of us get used to our AC or, to have everything that we need from home, and we're not thinking about the necessity at the moment or just to run the essentials. So by you explaining that, makes total sense. 8 hours or even more, right? I think if there's a power outage, you should use it or think of it as an emergency to be able to do that. So one of the things, we do home shows here once in a while, and we often get asked, do I still have power when there is power outages if I don't have a battery?
99% of the time, the solar will just turn off the moment that the power goes out. Most inverters are designed to just shut down to protect both the solar and the home. When the grid shuts down, there's nowhere for that excess solar to go. So the inverter has to shut down to protect itself and to protect the equipment in the home.
Crazy. So there's that answer. So having solar panels, there's a power outage, you're still not gonna have power, basically, is what you're saying.
It's great in the daytime, but the moment the power goes out or the moment you get to night, you don't have that anymore.
Okay. So how does this work? I'm having a power outage, I have my battery, I have solar panels, my battery's there. How does that take place? Do I have to go turn on a switch or click a button or something to make that work properly, or does it do it automatically? How does that process work?
Sure. That's actually a good question.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
One of the best parts about the batteries that we sell is that they're all built in with automatic transfer switches. So when the power goes out, your battery instinctively takes over. It flips the switch to keep your excess power from going back out to the grid so that you're not sharing it with your friends and family and neighbors.
Okay.
So it's isolated in your home. And then it runs all of your devices and appliances and everything you have running. And then at that point, then the battery waits until the solar comes back on the following day. In the case of a multi-day outage, the battery waits until a specific time where it's been programmed to check to see if it has enough solar to start charging again. Okay. And then it continues on. In fact, we have a really good example of that of one of our customers in Eden. At their home, Rocky Mountain Power came to their house to put on the new meter head so that they can measure the solar import and export.
Okay.
They turned off the customer's power, they pulled off the meter head, they put on the new one, and then they just left. But our battery had already been turned on at that point.
Okay.
So their battery went into backup. It was actually running the home. It was 17 days before commissioning could get back out to that house and check to make sure that everything was running properly. And the entire time, the customers didn't even know that their power was out. They were running completely independently off the grid. It was in the springtime, so they weren't being overcome by a lot of different loads. They weren't running their air conditioning nonstop. They weren't running their heating system. It was pretty pleasant outside. But they were able to run for 17 days and they didn't know their power was out.
That is so crazy. I mean, technology nowadays, right? How it changes and modifies. So, one of the other things going with that, because, as we do home shows as well, we do get some comments or people or individuals talking about, I'd rather do a generator than a backup battery. And obviously, it sounds like most of the reasons is a lot less expensive. But what about the benefits? What is the difference between having a backup battery and a generator? Like, what are the biggest benefits or pros and cons of each And why would it be better to have a battery over a generator?
Sure, good question. Generators are excellent. They're not bad pieces of equipment, but there's a couple of things that you'd have to keep in mind. First and foremost, a generator is an engine, which means it needs to be oiled all the time, so the oil needs to be changed on it just like you change your car. The second thing is they're noisy. It's an engine. When those generators start up, they know, and there's a lot of people in HOA communities that have been asked to either remove their generators or keep their generators shut down or only run them for limited periods of time because they're noisy.
Right.
With a battery, when you're running a solar and a battery system, your battery is completely silent. There is no noise. There's no spinning motors. There's no moving components. It's just a battery. And so it provides an excellent stream of power to your home at the right frequency that your home needs. The other drawback to generators is generators, sometimes you'll watch their frequency fluctuate. As the frequency fluctuates, the lights start to dim and then come back up, and they dim a little bit and they come back up as different things get turned on. But the battery handles that simultaneously without error. So in the long run, if I have enough fuel and I have enough oil and I regularly maintain my generator, then yes, you can keep your generator going, but you can't run a generator nonstop. It runs for a period of time and then it needs time to cool down. Whereas a battery, as long as there's power in that battery, it will run until it's empty. The solar will kick back on and pick up where they left off, begin to run the house and charge the battery, and you just go back and forth until your outage is over.
So interesting, because you say that, and I have a battery in my home, and one day me and my wife were cooking or doing something and the lights just flicker, like just quick. And my wife was like, "Do you see that?" I'm like, "Yes, I did." So then I went to my app and we were having a power outage, but it was so quick we didn't even realize that was happening. And we're like, okay, we didn't have to do anything. It just took place and it did its job with the batteries that we have. So I can understand with probably having a generator, you will notice power will probably go out. You're gonna have to go turn it on, get it running, get it doing all this stuff, right? Well, with the batteries, like you were saying, it just works. Transfer switch, is that what you said? It works automatically, right? So let's talk about something that is super interesting. Cycles on a battery compared to a generator.
Yeah.
What does that look like? And let's talk about a cycle first, so people have understanding. And please, correct me if I'm wrong, but a cycle in a battery is like if I use my cell phone, use the battery completely and drain it all the way to where it turns off completely. That is considered one cycle. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're exactly right.
Okay.
That's what they refer to as a typical life cycle.
So with that in mind, how many cycles right now it's a battery have been considered to last, if that ever happened? I mean, my battery has never gone through a full cycle. Because I have it at, I think, 35%, so it has never gone lower than 35%. So it has never gone through a full cycle. So help me understand how many cycles, or a little bit of an idea, how many cycles does a battery usually last?
It depends on the battery, but they all have very similar technology in them. They're running usually lithium batteries. And for example, Sonnen runs a 10,000 life cycle battery, right? So that means from beginning full charge all the way to the end. I mean, 10,000 life cycles, if you broke that up into a life cycle a day, what is that, 20 something years? So the lifespan on a battery is very excellent. And it's a lot better than the old lead acid batteries that you had to have, 30 of them parked on an old pallet somewhere in the garage, daisy chained with alligator clips. These batteries are beautiful, they're concise, they fit right in the corner, they're out of the way, out of sight, out of mind until you really need them, and then they come to life. And their battery warranties are excellent. Most battery warranties are right around the 10-year mark. And then the nice thing about most of these battery systems is that once you've gotten to the end of this warranty time, it also means that their battery still has the average of about 70% charge capability of what it had from the very beginning.
So basically they're focusing more on the warranty just because of technology for now. Eventually, as they get more, as long as the batteries keep going and keep getting tested, then they can probably change it to where it's focused on cycles. But right now it's all about the warranty, 10 years warranty. And it sounds like all the batteries, or most batteries, offer similar warranty because the technology is same, right? Okay, so it's so crazy because again, this started by generator or backup battery, right? And you guys can decide which one you prefer. If the power goes out, you want to go out there and turn it on, or if you want to go ahead and let the battery do its job and work the way it's supposed to. So let's talk about the different types of batteries that ES Solar offers.
Sure.
I know that there's been a lot of different battery companies perhaps that have come and gone, but what are the batteries that we ES Solar have chosen to work with, and why do you think that is?
Sure, there's a lot of different battery companies out there, and there's a lot of battery companies that do a really good job. In the beginning of the battery world, everything was lead acid batteries, just like what you have in your car. And you'd stack them up. People built different frames and different ways to house them. And that would work in conjunction with generators and things like that back and forth. But with the solar battery world coming together, the batteries that we've chosen to work with are Solar Edge, which is a company that was out of Israel. They've been an excellent company, and now they have shifted manufacturing to a plant here in Salt Lake.
Oh, wow.
And then we also work with Lunar. They're a new battery company to us that we're really excited about because it's not just a single battery unit, but you can determine how much you want that battery to be able to fill up. And if you want a little bit more battery space, you just add more battery to it.
Okay.
Which is really fun. Solar Edge is also jumping into that world with their brand new Nexus battery that we're super excited about.
Okay.
We haven't been able to get too much information on it yet, but
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. It is the newest battery that is coming to the market, and we're really excited to have them. The other battery company that we work with, we probably do more of these batteries than any other battery manufacturer, is Tesla. Everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows the company. Tesla makes a remarkably good piece of equipment, and it's beautiful and thin and out of the way. It's probably the most compact battery system that we offer to our customers. We've dabbled into a few other manufacturers, but these are the ones that hold their life the best, and these are the ones we've had the best experience with. Because it's not just the battery that matters to us, the software makes all the difference in the world. If you have a battery at home and you want to pull up your batteries app and see exactly how much power you're drawing from the grid, find out exactly how much power you're sending out to the grid, how much your home is actually using, how much you're getting from your solar, how much of that solar is going into the home, what's going into the battery. These manufacturers have proven that their platform, as far as user friendliness, is off the charts. It's excellent. It's one of the top reasons why we've chosen these battery companies. There's nothing complicated about running these batteries in your home. In fact, they are designed so you don't have to do anything. You just let the battery do what your battery does. And if you want to check in on it from time to time, or if you're curious to see how much power you're using, it's nice to be able to have an at-a-glance look.
Thank you so much for that answer. And just going back a little bit at the beginning of our video, we talked about how, the solar panels give, power to your home first and then goes to the battery. How quickly do you think it takes for a battery to recharge once the panels are working and are being efficient? How long do you think it takes?
Well, it's a pretty easy little math equation to find out, because every battery has to have an inverter that turns that electricity into usable electricity for the home.
Okay.
So that inverter has a maximum charge speed and a minimum charge speed.
Okay.
And so really the answer to your question would be, depends on how much solar and how much your home is using in the moment.
Okay.
However, if you want to make this in layman's terms, I would say for most customers on a standard average solar system in the area, you would be looking at a 3-hour charge time. 3 hours and your battery can go from its minimum backup buffer. That means the minimum amount we keep in your battery in reserve at all times, just in case you've already gone through your battery and then the power goes out. Okay. That's usually about 20% to full within 2 to 3 hours.
Nice. I mean, that's pretty good. 3 hours, It's so amazing. I wanted to make another comment, but let's just leave it at that for now. So we get another question a lot of times is, can I have a backup battery without having a system? and just use the grid to charge my battery. Can I do that? I imagine it's possible, but why would you think it's not a good idea to use the battery that way?
Well, it depends on where you live.
Okay.
So it's actually not a good idea or a bad idea.
Okay.
It's just an idea. So in the world of batteries, if you don't have a solar system to feed the battery, meaning you're not utilizing the sun in order to charge it, you can actually pull power off of the grid. And there are, depending on where you live, options in your net metering agreements to do what they call time of use. Meaning a lot of jurisdictions charge a lot more money during peak hours to run electricity and a lot less money to run them during non-peak hours. The reason why peak hours are so demanding is because that's when the demand of the whole community is at the same time. So for these batteries, if you put them into time of use mode, we can install batteries without solar systems, and we do from time to time. Your battery will charge when the grid power is cheap, and then it will discharge into your home and run your home when the power is very expensive. And so that can help offset your bill. But if you want to maximize the abilities that your battery is capable of and get the best value out of the system, then obviously I'd recommend putting solar on your roof as well.
Okay. Obviously, there is reasons to have a backup battery, right? From having power during outages, store extra solar energy, getting all the credits, reduce reliance on the grid. What does that mean? How does that could actually help having a battery, and how could it assist the grid? Is that a thing?
Sure.
Okay.
That's a great thing.
Okay.
So the more solar and battery power that you have on your home, the less reliant you are on the grid. Obviously, if solar is running your home in the day, that excess power is being stored in your battery, and you're able to use that battery at night, that's all the less power that you have to pull from the grid. Right. So if you don't have to pull as much from the grid doesn't have to have and realize such a heavy demand. There's also a program in our area in Utah, or anybody with Rocky Mountain Power, called WattSmart. It's an example of a program that a lot of different cities and a lot of different states already employ. But the concept behind WattSmart is the ability for the grid, if given permission, to be able to pull from people's batteries on a limited basis and help stabilize the grid during peak hours. A lot of these customers have a lot of excess solar, and their batteries are already full. And so when the grid has its highest demand, if you are a power distribution company, you have to find that power somewhere, or you do what we experience in California a lot, where you just shut the power down in certain sections while other sections can have power, and then they get shut down while you give it back to these people. And well, there are pros and cons to doing that for the power grid companies, but it's a huge advantage if you can have a program like WattSmart, where they can pull small amounts of power for short bursts off of many batteries and use that to stabilize the grid frequency and give it the little boost that it needs,
right,
instead of having to pull power from long distances and experience the power loss associated with that. So they do incentivize customers with these batteries to be able to take advantage of those little incentives, and in return, the utility will give the customers little monthly incentives along with battery rebates to take advantage of that program. So anything to help our customers get into a battery and enjoy the benefits of that, while also help stabilize the grid and help out their community. It all works together at no cost, no additional cost to the customer, and the customer doesn't experience the difference.
It is crazy where, what is happening in California with the grid, with the power outages, what you just explained a little bit. So obviously having a battery could be very beneficial in locations like that. I think eventually Utah may get to a point where we may need that. I don't know how soon may happen, but I feel as we add more technology into our homes, EVs, more computers, more electronics, our cost is gonna increase, our grid is gonna need some help, right? So this is where the batteries come in. So just to finalize these, we talked about batteries and the sizes, 10 kilowatt, 13 kilowatt. I get a battery today. Let's just say I get a 10 kilowatt.
Sure.
Is there an option in the future to expand?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Depending on the battery that you have, they have ranges from 20 kilowatt hours all the way up to 30 kilowatt hour batteries. And the best part about that is, like I said, we're really excited about the Nexus battery because you'll be able to just stack other battery units in there.
Okay.
Lunar already takes advantage of that technology where you can have a certain size battery and I just want to add more modules. I can just plug in more battery modules and you're ready to go. Even with Sonnen, you're able to go ahead and add a larger battery inside the case that it's designed for. And with a battery like Tesla, you can add multiple Teslas and you can even add Tesla expansion battery packs to your Tesla batteries to give you more volume. I can double the amount of volume easily by just adding an expansion pack that hooks directly into that first battery. It makes it a great solution, especially since you don't have to rewire the home in order to do it.
Right. Okay, so that's a good option. So you can expand it. You can start something 10, 13, and then you can always expand. What is the biggest, I'm just gonna ask you and throw you under the bus again. Hopefully you know the answer. What is the biggest system that we have installed when it comes to batteries?
That's a good question. The biggest system is definitely gonna be a Tesla Powerwall 3 system because Tesla allows for you to have a number of Powerwall 3s and then a large number of Powerwall 3 expansion packs to that.
Okay.
I think the biggest system I've done recently was 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 13.5 kilowatt hours, however big that is. You can get pretty big.
That is so crazy. I know. I remember we went and did a video testimonial to customers in St. George area, and I believe they had 4 Sonnen batteries.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, wow. But this guy was so amazing. You know, he was running. He had a pool. He was set. You know, and it was amazing to see all those batteries, and he can connect the batteries where he wanted to go, the power where he wanted to go. So that was so beautiful to see. So, well, Mike, I appreciate you coming in, you know, sitting with us, having a conversation with us. Hopefully you guys learn a little bit about batteries and the possibilities of batteries. Make a choice between a backup battery or a generator, whatever makes more sense for you. If you have any specific questions that you would like answered, please just make a comment. Let us know. We can definitely help you as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe if possible. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching these episodes. More to come. Thank you so much and have a good one. Mike, see you later, man.
See ya. It's been fun.